get back to some of the macro comments that came in from Finance Minister Arun Jaitley yesterday. Speaking at the CNBC TV18 India Business Leader Awards, Finance Minister Jaitley revealed that the GST bill could be tabled in the Parliament as early as next week. Take a look.
When do we actually see the bills go through Parliament? The expectation was that this week itself. Is it likely to happen tomorrow or next week, sir?
Well, I think next week is more likely for the reason that the Council cleared those bills only last weekend, and thereafter there is a long procedure involved. It involves clearing those draft legislations by the Cabinet. The Legislative Department has to do the final corrections. Then the statement of objects and reasons has to be done for each of those legislations. And all that exercise has now been completed in the last 2-3 days. So people have been working almost round the clock. It goes for presidential assent, and I have already given notice, and hopefully one of these days, early next week, it should be introduced in Parliament and then taken up for consideration.
So the 1st of July, sir, is that now the rollout date as far as the GST is concerned, given where we are?
You see, it looks likely. And why I say it looks likely, because the entire exercise of division of work administratively between the centre and the states has been done. We need to form 9 different regulations. 4 of them have already been approved by the Council. Some marginal changes may be required. The other 5, the drafts are being prepared, and they are going to be circulated to the states. And we are meeting on the 31st, and hopefully those regulations will be approved on the 31st. Those regulations don't require parliamentary approval. They have just to be placed before Parliament. And then there are at least 6 legislations, 5 by the Central Parliament and 1 by each of the state assemblies. Mm-hmm. So the 5 which are to be, and out of the 5 before Central Parliament, 4 are to be cleared by the GST Council, which they have done. That's the CGST law, yes, the IGST law, the compensation law, and the UTGST law.
Yeah.
The 5th one is because consequential changes are required in all our other tariff laws. Mm-hmm. So that's also been done. That's also been approved by the Cabinet yesterday, the 5th law. So hopefully all 5 should be before Parliament next week. And the 6th law, which again has been approved by the Council, which is the SGST, now will start going before each of the state assemblies.
Okay. So the big question, of course, is as far as the fitment of rates is concerned, and that is not going to be a matter that the GST Council will take up when it meets on the 31st of March. By when do you expect that there will be clarity on the rates, sir?
Well, after the 31st meeting, our experts who've been assisting the Council will start working on the rate structure. Now, in the first instance, so as not to upset the apple cart, we are following a more logical arithmetical formula.
Okay.
Which is how much is the central excise a particular commodity is paying, how much is the VAT it is paying, what is the total amount of incidental taxes you pay, and we try and fit you next to the nearest slab. Mm-hmm. So if, let us say, somebody is paying 5 or 7%, then you get into the 6% slab.
Okay.
A very large number of items which are of the common man user, food items in particular, will continue to remain in the zero-rated category.
Okay.
Why we have consciously fixed, despite some ill-informed comment, 2 standard rates of 12 and 18.
Yes.
That assuming somebody is today paying 10%, now it's possible to fit him into the 12% category. And it's possible to fix somebody paying 13 or 14% into the 12% category. Mm-hmm. But if from 10% we had suddenly taken them to 17% mm-hmm. or 18%, I think that would have been a shock as far as those commodities are concerned. One of the objects is not to increase inflation. There should be no tax on tax. Therefore, the actual eventual amount the consumer is paying must come down.